Alrighty, YouTube. Josh Morgan here from Momentum Productions. Cheers. How's everyone doing? We're gonna go online for do about a 30-minute live stream, 40-minute live stream, perhaps even longer depending on what kind of questions we're gonna get. But yeah, I'm trying to do these live streams at least twice to three times a week, maybe even more, as much as I can. Because the more personal, the more I talk to my subscribers, I feel like the engagement is better. And because I'm trying to build a community here, a film-based community, photography, creative arts-based community, I believe that these live streams really do help out. Jose the Rover, what's up, man? I think it's Jose or yeah, Jose, right? Great videos, bro. Thank you so much, man. You tuned in pretty quick. That's good. That means the live stream is notifying people. That's awesome. And so if you're new to the live stream, basically I want this just to be like a live Q&A type thing. And so please feel free to ask any filmmaking questions, even some photography questions. You can also ask some business questions when it comes down to investing in some equipment or studio stuff. Whatever you need help with, the best of my knowledge, I will tell you if I experience something specifically and give you my advice. Jose the Rover says, I bought my Jewin crane because of you. So for those of you who don't know, the Jewin crane is a 3-axis gimbal. Thank you so much, man. I'm really happy that I really do appreciate that. By the way, they're releasing a new gimbal on Friday, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, that's right. Jewin crane is already releasing a new gimbal. And according to my sources, bigger payload capacity and slightly more clearance for bigger cameras. So we'll see what the new Jewin crane. I saw a picture of it, like a kind of a blacked out picture, but I could make out the specs just by looking at it. They put actually a 5D Mark IV on there with a pretty big lens, and that's already a setup that the original Jewin crane can't hold. So, yeah. Andy Kishore, I can ask you this because the government made it a universal law to go to this place no matter who you are. Do you like or hate school? What kind of school? I mean, general education, I personally don't like school, but I do it anyway. I did it anyway. Halvanwo says, Josh, just got home from the YouTube event. It was a blast, super networking. All right, man. I hope you gave out a lot of business cards. I hope you made some new friends, some new connects. Hopefully you got some new phone numbers and you're able to expand your business that way. That's really good. And I hope that you have a website and somewhere where they can find you, and you guys will do great collaborating. So yeah, as long as you guys connect on social media or at least email, I think you'll be good. So Len, I have the Canon 430 EX3 RT, but it doesn't look like I can adjust the flash intensity. Any ideas? I have no idea about that camera, my friend. I don't know. I don't follow Canon anymore. Jose the Rover, would you shoot in bright sunlight? Any tips for diffusion? So, okay, that's a very good question. Here's what happened. I shot a web series in 2013, and it was we had to shoot outside at a specific time, actually at 11 a.m., which is literally right when the sun is right above us. That's when the sun is the brightest, right? And we were shooting on white concrete, so it was very difficult to get the proper exposure. So what we did, we hung a huge white drape over the area that we were shooting. Not a drape, but it was like a white cloth. And we were able to diffuse a lot of that sun that way. And we also added some ND filters on the lens to help compensate for some more of that harsh lighting, because we couldn't drape the whole entire area, just the area that we were filming. So the background was a little bit brighter than the foreground. But that was okay because the background was blurry and the foreground was sharp. So we got away with that, but Sometimes you do have to improvise. I mean, they do sell large diffusion sheets that you can buy, but in my case, I just used a 10 by 10 footer white sheet, and we were able to tape it up and hang it up in a way that would block out the sun in that area and actually produce a nice diffused natural light. And it's basically that drape that I was using. It's a muslin backdrop, the same backdrops we use for, white backdrops, green screens. It's the same kind of material, that cloth, muslin. That's what it's called. So yeah, and it's cheap. I think it's like 20, 30 bucks. You can buy it anywhere. Even at an arts and crafts store, they sell it. So that's the kind of diffusion stuff that I like to use, and it's worked. Next question. Hezron says, I like your tutorials. You motivate me every day. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Halvin Wolf, again with the super chats, bro. Thank you. I'm very grateful for you, man. Thank you for the super chat. So, guys, for those of you who don't know, a super chat is like a donation to the channel. So if you have a few extra bucks and you'd like to throw me a super chat, I'll give you a shout out to your channel. That would be great. And yeah. Jose the Rover says, great idea. How did you hang the drape? So what we did, so the house that we were shooting at, we were shooting out in the front part. It was actually like a mansion. We shot in the front part of the mansion, and kind of the way that mansion was designed, it had like two parts that like caved in. I don't know how to really explain it, but we were able to go upstairs, and the drape was long enough to go from one room to another room and cover up that gap that was in the middle. So we used light stands, clamps, and gaffing tape, and we were able to hang it up and stretch it between the two rooms that went outside to inside, if that makes sense. So we had a room here, and then this area in the middle was just outside. So what we did, we just hung the drape across that outside area, and we connected the two rooms with the drape. So yeah, gaffing tape, light stands, and basically we did some improvisation because we didn't have all the equipment necessary to properly use that. So we used a lot of gaffing tape, some leftover light stands, and again, we even used some, what are they called? I'm blanking right now. These are like spring clips that we use to hang up green screens. We used a few of those really strong clips to help clip them onto the light stand. So we were able to get away with that. Yeah, good question, Jose. Very good question. But if you're talking about like run and gun shooting, like if you're by yourself, the best way you can, and if you want to shoot out in bright daylight, if you don't really have a choice, the best thing you can do is use a neutral density filter. I have a small pack with me that I use with my Zeiss lenses. So use a neutral density filter. That's going to really de-intensify the harshness of the light. So consider that in your next shoot when you're shooting outside in bright daylight. Obviously, in the best way, like if you have control of what time you can shoot, never shoot between the times of, I would say, 9 to 3. That's like the worst time. I know it's a big chunk of the day, but that's when the sun is the brightest. After 3 o'clock, the sun starts to set on the west, and it starts to actually just not become as intense as it used to be. But 9 o'clock, at least where I'm living, the sun is really, really bright, and it's already pretty high up at 9 o'clock. And between 9 and 3, it's just a really bad time to shoot outside with without any sort of diffusion. Jose says that he has Tiffin ND filters. Very good. Variable ND filters. Exquisite Football says, hey Momentum, I just purchased a Glidecam. Any tips? Exquisite Football, I'm going to ask you a question. Did you watch my Glidecam tutorial videos? All of them? I think I have like 40 videos. So that should answer all of your questions, but some easy tips. Keep it smooth. Don't hang on to the gimbal too much. Just tap it gently to the point where you control the pan, control the tilt easily, and without any abrupt movements. So keep that in mind. Exquisite says, hey Momentum, I just purchased a Glidecam. Any tips? It was around $100. Okay, so you probably bought the newer one, right? The newer brand. And you said you watched the balancing one. So I also created a Glidecam playlist with all of my Glidecam videos in it. So click on my playlist, go to my channel, go to playlists, and look at my Glidecam playlist, because that's where I have my videos for that. But let's talk about the Glidecam for a little bit. Let me grab mine. Right. So here's my Glidecam. So this specific model is called the FLOCAM 4000 from Cam Gear. They sent this one to me. It's actually really nice. I'm really happy with this one. So again, a few tips to cover on a Glidecam. The way you hold the handle and the way you operate the gimbal, right? So let's talk about the handle. Basically, you're looking at the handle, you're like, okay, I want to grab it like this, like a regular handle, right? But that's not what I like to do. I like to actually put the handle in my palm, then cup it. That way the handle's weight goes into your palm and not into your forearm as much. So it's not going to tire you out as much or as quickly. So you'll be able to fly the Glidecam for longer periods of time, right? And then with the gimbal, you constantly want to be tapping it. Constantly tapping the gimbal here. You never want to grab it like this and walk around. That just defeats the purpose of having a gimbal. So just tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Obviously, if I had a camera on top, it wouldn't be wobbling, but, that's what it is right now. All right, so I hope that answered. I hope that gives you some sort of idea, like, how you should handle your Glidecam. Alrighty. Next question, guys. I'm open to all of your questions. You guys like my messy bed? Any more questions? Is that it? No way. We're only almost 12 minutes in. Not that many questions. I'm surprised. Do I like soccer videos? Sure. If they're shot well. Yeah, sure. How do I handle pricing? Jose, very good question. I actually made 2 videos on how I create my prices. So maybe I can send you one right now. You should check it out. I go into detail about creating a contract and setting prices. So let me go ahead and find that video for you. Okay, here we go. So this video here is going to...
Hey guys, Josh here from Momentum Production.
I know, you're Josh from Momentum Productions. Very good. Sorry about that. So here's the link. Check it out. It wasn't a popular video, unfortunately, but for those of the people who watched that video, learned a lot from it. And unfortunately, people are more, inclined to watch like drone videos and Glidecam videos and like equipment reviews and stuff like that. They tend to not watch as many like contract videos and how to build a business videos. They don't really care about that stuff, oddly enough. They just want to get to like the meat and potatoes of everything. So kind of get it, but kind of don't. If you want to be a freelance filmmaker, you got to know a lot of stuff. Not just about equipment or, you got to know how to invest money because you're running your own business. So you got to be an investor, right? Investing money and investing time. Jose says, thank you. You are very welcome, Jose. Watch that video, then let me know what you think. I also have another video about that. Jose says, I'll definitely watch. My whole career has been in post-production. I'm now getting into production. I know, man. It's I started off doing both, but I fell in love with post-production a lot more than actual production. But then I started liking production a lot more. So it's a love and hate relationship sometimes. I'm not an audio guy, but I have audio equipment, so it's like I'd rather, if I was given a job to either edit or film, I would probably edit because It's just I'm in a controlled environment in editing, and I'm stuck in my own mind, and I can do what I want. With filming, it's a little bit, you gotta. It seems like it's a little bit more stressful than editing, in my opinion. Jazz is asking, what is the best way for me to find a suitable LUT or lookup table for a video, or everything is just a trial and error? Yes, so everything is trial and error. You have to watch a ton of. I like to watch Philip Bloom videos because he uses a lot of LUTs for his videos. But for those of you who don't know what a LUT is, it stands for lookup table, and it's basically a color grading. It's a pre-made color grade sample. So basically, you can download these plugins for your video editing software and implement these lookup tables onto your footage, and it automatically color corrects it and makes it look more like gives it like a tint and a feel, more like film-like. Philip Bloom uses that all the time. And yeah, so Jazz is asking, what is the best way to find a lookup table? Honestly, look through a ton of videos. Find which LUT that you like. Try and comment on the video and see if the creator will tell you where they got the LUT from, or if they created it manually, because sometimes they do create the LUT manually and share it with you. It's all trial and error. I can't give you any recommendations because I color grade all my footage manually. I rarely use any plugin to help me color correct. I don't just drag and drop a plugin and it automatically color corrects. I do everything manually. So I create my own LUTs for my videos. That's just the way I prefer it. Contrast, saturation, highlights, midtones, and then on top of that, the color, the hue, the tint of the footage. It's all completely different than you would expect. So yeah, trial and error. Find out what you like, and then find out if you can get the information of what lookup table that person is using. Good question. Very good question. Jazz, I hope I answered that properly. I hope I gave you the answer that you were looking for. But yes, it is definitely a trial and error process. Any more questions, guys? Let me know. Thanks for the help, man. I turn 16 tomorrow. All right, man. Happy birthday. Exquisite football. 16 is a good year. That's when you get your driver's license. Jazz says, thanks. That's great. Thanks very much, because I'm in the middle of an edit. Yeah. So, what editing software do you use, Jazz? Maybe I can help you out. You probably use Premiere, huh? A lot of people are switching to Premiere. Jose the Rover, Final Cut or Premiere? I use Final Cut. Chaz says, and I'm stuck for a few footage because it looks pale. So yeah, so if it looks pale, if it looks dried out, add saturation. You're going to bring some of that color back. Actually, you're going to bring a lot of that color back by adjusting saturation. Again, not too much, otherwise it looks overly saturated and not authentic. So yeah, so Premiere has a very good color correction engine. So you can easily increase the saturation, increase the shadows, make the shadows a little more contrasty. That way the subjects pop out more. And yeah, that's what I recommend doing in color correction. That's just simple, simple color grading. If it's flat, increase saturation, increase the shadow, the darkness of the shadows, and that just makes the subjects pop out more. Jose says, I just switched to Final Cut Pro 10. I love it. Good. I love it too. I absolutely love Final Cut. Final Cut's incredible. Any more questions, guys? Or is that it? Think Tank Photo is sending me a new bag. For those of you who don't know Think Tank Photo, they're one of the best manufacturers of camera bags. They're sending me another bag to review. which is awesome. I'm so excited. It's called the Spectral camera bag. And it's a really affordable bag. I think it's around 150, 160 bucks. It's one of the cheapest bags they've manufactured, but the quality still looks great. I mean, the reason why the other bags that I have are like $300, $400 is because they have leather detailing and they're a lot bigger. They have rollers attached to it. So this shoulder bag it can fit a 15-inch laptop, a camera with a lens attached along with 2 other lenses, and it's a really good messenger bag in my opinion. You could definitely take it out in the city with you and shoot some cool stuff. I mean, it's Think Tank Photo. They're not going to produce something that's crappy. It's Think Tank Photo, guys. Like, made in America. Like, you can't ask for anything better than that. And they're actually up by my brother in the San Francisco area. That's where they manufacture the bags, so that's pretty cool. Michael says, hello everyone. What's up, Michael? Jazz says, thanks very much, Josh. You're welcome. Jose says, any tips for color grading in Final Cut Pro? Yes. Cool. Jose is asking some great questions today. Very, very cool. Jose, let's answer your questions first. Any tips for color grading in Final Cut Pro? Final Cut Pro has one of the worst color grading plugins I've ever seen in my life. It's absolute garbage. So if you want to color grade in Final Cut Pro, you got to either buy color correction plugins, or you can download DaVinci Resolve for free, the light version. And that's all you really need. DaVinci Resolve is an external color correction software. It doesn't run inside of Final Cut, unfortunately. So what happens is you're going to edit your footage in Final Cut Pro, cut it up the way you want, add music effects, whatever. Then you're going to take all of that stuff and import it into DaVinci Resolve Lite. And you're going to be able to manually color correct everything in DaVinci Resolve. And you're going to get phenomenal results. But unfortunately, stock, like what Final Cut Pro comes with, it's crap. It's really bad color correction software. There is another thing that you can invest in. It's not free. It's called Colorista 4, Colorista 3. There's different versions. It's an excellent software for color correction, and it's built right into Final Cut Pro. It's a plugin that you can download. So check out redgiant.com. You can see all of their color correction software, any software for Final Cut Pro. It's all fantastic. Check it out. Next question I see is, what gear do you travel with for personal stuff? Another good question, Jose. Let me show you my travel bag. So currently I have 2 messenger bags, one big, one small, and then I have a 3rd messenger bag coming on Friday from Think Tank Photo. But this is one of Think Tank Photo's newest bags. This is the Signature 13 series. So basically what I keep in here, all right, let's have a look. Guys, after having Think Tank Photo bags and Nanook cases, I'm never going to go to any other supplier of bags, guys. Seriously. Nanook makes the best like hard shell cases, and Think Tank Photo makes the best like soft shell cases and fashionable cases, because this is like a fashionable case. So basically I have my Sony A9 in here. I used to have my A7R2, rest in peace, but now I upgraded to the Sony A9 with a 16-35 Zeiss lens attached with a quick release plate to protect the bottom of the camera. I have a Rocketfish lens cleaner and sensor cleaner. All right. I have another Zeiss lens, 24-70. I have some camera chargers in here and my battery for my gimbal. And I have my Jewin Crane 3-axis gimbal in here as well. Alright, so I keep all that stuff in here with me. The new bag that's supposed to come to me from Think Tank Photo is going to be slightly larger than this one, so I might be able to fit another lens, or maybe my 14mm lens, I might be able to fit that in the new bag. My other bag that I have, that one's a little bit, it's not meant for like street walking or anything like that. It's meant more for professional gigs. I'm going to show you what's in that bag too. So that's my streetwalker bag. It's funny because Think Tank Photo also has a bag called the Streetwalker. I have it right here. It's a really cool backpack and a rolling bag too. So that's what's in my everyday bag. Okay. Put that back. I'll show you what's in my other messenger bag. Alright, so this is my other messenger bag. This is more for like the professional shoots, but it's still a shoulder bag, so I can literally take it with me anywhere. And here I'm not going to open it up because there's just so much inside. You can see I have my Gorilla Pod from Joby. I have 2 cameras in here. My Panasonic GH4, my Sony A7S. The A7S has a lens attached, so does the Panasonic GH4, and then I have another lens in there as well. In the front pocket here, I have a lot of camera, like batteries, chargers, memory cards, and I also have an external battery pack along with a card reader, and at times I store my laptop in here as well. There's a dedicated pocket for that. And this is also a backpack. It has conversion straps that Think Tank Photo sent me, so I can use it as a backpack when I want. So yeah, those are my 2 messenger bags I have so far. And guys, if you can afford Think Tank Photo, which if you're affording all these expensive cameras, you should be able to afford Think Tank Photo equipment. I mean, you're not going to get better bags than what Think Tank Photo's offering you. I've been through so many bags in my life. Everything has ripped and failed. Don't go cheap on the bags. They also have lifetime warranties, so that's something you should consider. So thank you for the question, Jose. Michael is asking, Josh, do you like the A9, the Sony A9? Is it like I said, or do you remember? I don't remember. But yes, I do love the Sony A9. The battery life is fantastic. The focus is unreal. I never question the A9's focus. It's locked on every single time. A lot better than the A7R2 and a lot better, way better than the A7S. So yes, definitely love that camera. Michael's asking, how long have you been doing YouTube videos and when did you see a real surge in your subscribers? So I started doing, I opened up this channel, I created a YouTube account in 2011. I uploaded, BS videos, just, I don't think I have them online anymore. They're just like for fun videos that no one would really understand. So I took them down, I never thought that you could make money off of YouTube. So in 2014, I think I uploaded my first tutorial video on a gimbal, like this one here. And it didn't get much views until 2015. That's when it started packing on like 50,000 views in like 2 months, which is not bad. And then it went up to 100,000, then 150,000, and then my subscriber rate went up, like skyrocketed. And then I came out with a slider tutorial, which did very, very well, like over 100,000 views in like a year, which is not bad compared to the stats at the time I had for my channel. So let me break it down for you on how my subscriber rate is changing. So last year and the year before, I was maxing out at around 350 subs per month, right? Then I started doing more tutorial videos. I was starting to become very consistent with my YouTube uploads, like 2-3 times a week at least. My subscriber rate went from 350 a month to 2,000. So I'm making about, give or take, 2,000 subscribers a month. which is a huge increase. If you go on socialblade.com, you can check out my YouTube statistics. Socialblade.com, you'll see that there was a huge spike in my subscriber count. So yeah, that's actually a really good site to check out if you want to look at some statistics from creators and see what's going on. So I spiked last year. I spiked completely, and right now I'm not spiking as much, but I'm continuing to grow. So 1,700, 1,800 subscribers, 1,900. Now I'm doing about 2,000. So each month I have a goal to keep increasing my subscriber count and my view count, because at the end of the day, views and subs are what matters. Okay. Jose says, thanks, bro. Have a great night. I'll catch you next time. All right, man. I'll catch you next time, too. But yeah. So I hope I answered your questions. But yeah, guys, if you're looking for a new gimbal, I might as well promote this one since it's here. This is a really cool gimbal. I like this one a lot. And I made a review video on it on my channel this week. I released it on Monday. Check it out. A company from India sent this to me. A company called Cam Gear. And it's all aluminum. It's all metal. Very nice quality. I'm very happy with it. And the gimbal on it is really smooth and quiet. Yeah. Any other questions, guys, before we call it a day? Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you tuning in. This is probably not a good time since I'm looking at the watch count. It's not too high. I've had a lot better watch counts for these live streams at different times. So maybe going on at a later time, or it's either really late at night or really early in the morning. That's when I've seen like a spike in people watching. So I'm probably going to start doing that from now on. So thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. If you have any questions, please continue to post them even after this live stream ends. That way I can answer it on the next live stream. And I look forward to seeing what you guys create. I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Also, you can throw me a super chat and I will give you a shout out. And thank you guys so much again. I'll talk to you soon.